as Alabama fans celebrate the 86th birthday of the legendary Paul Bear Bryant. The Tide returned to the stadium where the Bear captured his record 323rd career victory. And today, the Alabama Crimson Tide hosts the Houston Cougars, a school looking for its third to the second half. Mike Clark to kick off, Freddie Millens. And Santonio Beard deep for the Tide. Millens takes it about 5 yards deep in the end zone and will take a knee. Here's a look at our Regions Bank starting lineups for the Alabama Crimson Tide. Shaun Alexander moving into the top 10 and just about, actually the top 4 or 5 in just about every rushing category at Alabama. Up front, Chris Samuels. Everybody's got an eye on him this year. Coaches were somewhat disappointed with a few snaps from him last week, but 2 freshmen on that starting line. And there is Andrew Zhao. Last week, 201 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. He has been the story. He will give way for a few series this afternoon to Tyler Watts, but Andrew Zhao is a good one. Zhao back to throw on first down.
A lot of time.
Nowhere to go and dropped at the 15. A loss of 5. Well, here's how the Houston Cougars will line up with that 4-2-5 defense. Up front, guys that aren't very big, but yet they are very quick and fast and will put pressure on the quarterback. Rogers and Max and the 2 inside linebackers, and really this is where it all happens in the secondary for the Houston Cougars. Malone, James, Fields, Pattis, and Hill. Mike James, keep an eye on him. He will be all over the football field.
And interesting, that first play, Dave, they tried to go to Freddie Millens on a fly pattern, so they're going to put the ball up today.
Shaun Alexander, the sweep.
Oh, what a great cut behind him. Just a great block. I think it was Ellington that got tight. TJ Light hooked inside, and Shaun Alexander just read that block just perfect and cut right back inside. Watch this, set him up. Now watch his cut. Once he gets right in here, you're going to see him cut right back underneath. You see Ellington driving that block out there. That's a great play by young Shaun Alexander.
Shaun's career numbers have been very impressive. 7th all-time at Alabama. Has a chance, has to average a little over 100 yards a game to become the school's all-time leading rusher. He also has 9 100-yard games to his credit. Outside goes Alexander, picks up the first down across the 30.
Boy, what a block there by McClintock, number 30, the fullback. He comes out, he's got the lead block. And when you put the cornerback on the ground, the results are always yardage. Watch number 30. He's going to get out in front. This is going to cut the corner down, bang, down. Now he's got the corner, he makes it and gets that first down yardage.
Dustin McClintock, a resident of Texas, turned 20 on Friday. And there's Mike DeBose, who opened up his career as a head coach against the Houston Cougars in 1997 right here at Legion Field. Pass incomplete. McCadley did all he could just to get a hand on it.
Yeah, that wasn't a very well thrown ball by Andrew Zhao. Could you believe how big Andrew Zhao's hands were yesterday? I know you looked at him when he put them up against mine. His hands were bigger than mine.
You know, Andrew is 6'2", 215, good size for a quarterback, but his hands are like the hands of a guy who's 6'8", 6'9".
Oh, they had huge fingers. I asked him if you ever played that ball trick where you try to pull it out of the hands. He said, all the time, and I win.
McClintock in motion. Alexander, nowhere to go. Picks up about 3 or 4 yards on his own.
You know what's amazing about that play? Alexander thought about going to the weak side to get to the outside. He couldn't get to the outside. He made plus yardage by cutting up inside.
Kim Helton in his 7th year. You see his numbers, 1849-1, but in 1996 his team captured the Conference USA Championship. Spent 11 years as an assistant coach in the NFL. Played at Florida.
And treated us to dinner last night. Wasn't that nice?
That was very nice. Hey, anybody's going to give me a free meal. High on my list.
Well, we didn't make our producer, Rob Reichman, pay for it.
3rd and 4 for the Tide. 3 wide receivers out, across the middle. Wide open is his tight end, Terry Jones Jr. Down inside the 20-yard line. How did Jones get so wide open?
Tight end delay coming across the middle is Terry Jones, number 82. And Zhao got enough time to sit back there, make a little look out to the outside to take the safeties off. Now watch the eyes of Zhao right here. He's looking off, looking off. Now he sees him, bang. Dumps right across the middle. You're going to see what happened. Nobody picked him up. That's one of the problems with this defense that Houston has. And a good block there downfield. You know, the receivers sometimes get some great blocks, and that was a pretty good one.
Yeah, Shamari Buchanan came up nice. 42 for the tie.
Oh, fumble.
Alexander dropped it. Zhao falls back on it and loses his helmet in the process.
That ball came off on the snap. Looked like it just popped up in the air. And Andrew Zhao, he makes a positive out of this. Watch the ball come up. He loses it right here. Boom. I'm not so sure that McClintock didn't knock the ball out of his hands, the fullback, when he went into the line.
Dave, this is a perfect example of what we saw last week that upset the Alabama coaching staff. They moved the ball effectively, got inside the 30-yard line, and Alabama would shoot themselves in their foot.
Yeah, you have to score when you get inside that red zone, and they're in it now. You've got to come away with points. Big down here. Second down, they need about 12, 14 yards.
In the shotgun. Fake to Alexander. Zhao all day to throw. Now the pocket collapses. He's tripped up and loses a couple of more. Wayne Rogers with the trip on Zhao.
And Dave, we talk about the strength of this Houston defense. The strength of this Houston defense is the secondary. Look at the time he has in here. The reason he can't get the pass off is that everybody is covered. Now he bails out of the pocket. Good tackle take down there by Wayne Rogers, the outside safety. But look at this coverage. Man for man, they think they can run with anybody. See him just looking right on Freddie Millens there? That's what you call close one-on-one coverage.
Well, Kim Helton told us last night his front four aren't going to really get to Andrew Zhao, so they're going to have great coverage in the secondary. That is what they had on that play. Shotgun formation for Zhao, 4 wide receivers. Flag down at the 31, right in front of the Alabama bench. Millens, the intended receiver.
That was going to be that underneath slip screen, but the flag was thrown all the way across. You almost have to think that someone lined up in the neutral zone. There's the initial indications, offsides for Houston. Somebody lined up in the neutral zone.
Huge break for the Alabama Crimson Tide on 3rd and 22. They get another shot at it.
Foul was offsides by the defense, 5 yards from the previous spot, still 3rd down.
And our SEC officials today, our referee, the man in charge, Doyle Jackson, Ted Davis, Joe Dawson, Eddie Powers, Bobby Caldwell, Gerald Hodges, and Prince Pollard round out the crew.
I used to play with Ted Davis. They call him the veterinarian judge here. I played with Ted Davis in New Orleans. He's a great linebacker.
You played with a lot of guys.
Oh, yeah. You know how it is.
3rd down at 17. 4 wide receivers. Shotgun. Out to Alexander. Look at him go. Touchdown, Crimson Tide. The second touchdown reception on the year by Shaun Alexander, and he continues to impress.
Well, credit this offensive line for giving time. Then he finds Alexander out of the backfield, and they're running one-on-one. There's nobody going to cover him one-on-one, especially not a backer like Jeremy Maxson. He just doesn't have the speed to stay with Shaun Alexander.
Alexander is now tied for 3rd at Alabama with 30 career touchdowns.
On a great opening drive, kept the ball, controlled it, used super play selection.
An 80-yard drive by the Crimson Tide to open up the game. Shaun Alexander capped it off. To mount an attack similar to that of the Crimson Tide. Kickoff taken by Koa Bell. Across the 25. Back inside the 25, a return of 17. Tackle made by Phillip Weeks. And Dave, let's go back to that touchdown.
Well, it's an interesting call. First of all, you have to credit that offensive line. They give him great time. But watch Shaun Alexander right there. Come up, match on the backer, and then come across the field and down that direction. You'll see that the safety is taken to the middle, and Alexander's one-on-one with number 45, Maxson. And Shaun Alexander's going to win that one.
Shaun feeling a lot better. Was sick last week. Got sick before the game, right before the game, and has suffered through some symptoms this week, but says he feels 100% today. Kendrick Sanford in the backfield, the senior, gets hammered at the 25. Marvin Constant. Now let's take a look at the Houston backs and receivers, the Region Bank starting lineup. Sanford, we talked about him, a senior, high on the list in a lot of categories at Houston. Orlando Iglesias, a wide receiver that they will rely on heavily today. Josh Lovelady on many preseason Conference USA first team list this year. And our quarterback, Jason McKinley, a junior, starting for the third consecutive year. You saw what he did here in game 1 against Rice. He only threw the ball 13 times, but was effective. McKinley to Sanford, across the 25. Covered very nicely by the Alabama defense. And here's how the Alabama defense will line up. Moorhead, Griffin, Jarrett Johnson gets the start at right tackle, so 2 freshmen up front. And there's 2 more freshmen starting at linebacker, Rashid and Constant. In the secondary, they have to get better play out of Spencer and Dixon at the safety spots. They did not play very well against Vanderbilt last week.
Well, this is a big down for Alabama. They want to take the steam out of Houston. This is the way you do it. You get great field position if you can hold them on 3rd down.
And they did. Kendall Williams drops the pass at the 30, and Alabama gets a 3 and out.
And boy, listen to the crowd. They're starting to get into this football game. They know that they can jump on top of Houston because Houston is going to move the football up and down the field. That's why Alabama wants to get that quick start.
Jeff Patterson to punt. Freddie Millens to return. Patterson averaged 35 yards a kick. Had a 70-yarder last year at Glenn Junior College.
Boy, 9 men on the line. They're coming after it.
Patterson gets it away. Millens calls for the fair catch, and he gets it at the 36-yard line. A punt of 37 yards, and Alabama has the football. They lead it 7-0. Back after a word from your local stations.
38-yard line, 1st down. This is where you want to start drives. That's what you want to give it to.
Shaun Alexander across the 50. Knocked down at about the 36-yard line of the Houston Cougars. The stop made by Emil White in the secondary, a gain of 27.
Well, what makes him so good is that he runs through tackles. He uses his blockers well. But watch when he's going to get tackled. Watch the acceleration right in here. Boom, now he just runs away. You're not going to bring him down with an arm tackle. Look at this block right here. Terry Jones, great block there. Gets Malone outside. He can't get in there, and you can see that's what broke Shaun Alexander.
It's out. Play action. Across the middle. Sam Collins, did he make the catch? Yes, he did. Emil White with the stop. And let's go down and check in with our sideline man, Greg Bowser. Greg?
Well, I'll tell you, Dave, one of the things you've got in Alabama is you've got Chris Samuels, the old veteran, who's starting his 31st consecutive game. But on the other side, you've got Dante Ellington. A year ago, Ellington was a senior in high school. Let's go back to you guys before this guy beats me up down here.
A very young offensive line today, if you will. 2 freshmen starting on that O-line. Alexander again. Stop shy of the 1st down. Dave, there are 6 freshmen starting today for this Alabama team. Do you know the last time that happened?
No, I bet it hasn't.
Probably the last time they had a JV football game back in the late 70s would be my guess.
Well, I can tell you this, after the game, they don't shave here. Look at the number of true freshmen. That's incredible.
You have 4 true freshmen starting today, only 5 before this year, and there's 2 redshirt freshmen also in the mix today. So Alabama playing a lot of young players. They played 61 guys. They dressed 70 last week against Vanderbilt, played 61. Coach DeVoe says he would have liked to have gotten more guys some time. Hand off Alexander. Gets the 1st down and then some.
Did you see that little shuffle step by Alexander that time? That was beautiful. What you want your running back to do is have vision into the hole. And that's exactly what Alexander did. As the linebacker comes off, watch the little shuffle. Here's a little stutter step right there. Boom, back outside. That's the difference between picking up a 1st down and having it be 4th down. That little stutter step on the run.
Light on his feet. He just almost glides.
He does glide. That's the mark of a great running back, when you run with your feet close to the ground so that you can change direction and do that little shift.
1st and 10 at the 21. 4 wide receivers. Handoff to Bohannon. He gets outside, gets a couple of yards before he's knocked out of bounds by Mike James.
Boy, and Houston taking a lot of chances right now. They're doing a lot of blitzing with those backers coming inside, trying to jam the hole to force everybody wide.
Here are the Houston coaches trying to figure out a way they can slow down this Alabama offense.
There's Dick Bumkus right there.
Defensive coordinator in his first year, working with Kim Helton. Kim Helton said that the school said, listen, here's our budget. Go out and get the best people you possibly can. And one of the first guys he went to was Dick Bumkus.
Well, it's a good defense. He brought in here a 4-2-5 scheme, and it's worked for him. Had great success last week.
Dow on second down. Bohannon again up the middle, close to the first down, near the 10-yard line.
Now, this is what Alabama would love to do. Mike Dubose loves that smash mouth football where you get big man on big man. You can see him. He's just an old grinded-out coach.
Some scores from around the NCAA. How about those Nittany Lions? They're playing somebody today. At least Michigan beating up on Rice, and Wisconsin leading this Tide on another march. Alexander inside the 10 just keeps the feet moving constantly.
Well, that's just, as I said earlier, that's just the mark of a great running back. You keep those feet down where you don't take those long strides and you get caught in between strides. You can change direction so quickly in the hole. The thing I'm really impressed with about Shaun Alexander is the great vision that he has. He sees that backside. If it opens up, he just darts back through it. What a wonderful young man.
Those are his updated numbers.
8 yards carry, that ain't bad.
That'll get it done. Milton's in motion. Second down. Zhao rolls out. Pressure, throws back across the middle. McCadley had a chance as Zhao floated it across the end zone.
Well, they're not going to give Shaun Alexander an A on that play for his block because the backer jumped over top of him. Shaun Alexander was coming out of the backfield, tried to cut back inside and cut down the backer. The backer stepped over him and was right in Andrew Zhao's face.
Alexander just 10 touchdowns away from setting the school record in that department. Just a little over 1,000 yards remaining to set the new career rushing mark at Alabama. And of course, he has been focused, or he hasn't been focused, but the Heisman Trophy certainly looms large. It's third down, 4 wide receivers in the game. Pressure on Zhao, throws it in the end zone. McCadley had his hands on it. I thought for a minute he might have grabbed it.
Dave, they call a quarterback when he drops into that situation, they say have a presence of the game. Know what's going on. In other words, when you're flushed and you've got pressure, as Belli puts on him this play, just have presence. Look downfield. Don't panic. Just keep looking downfield. Look at his head. You see, it's looking downfield and just almost throws a reception there. And you can see that McAdley, he thought he had it.
Junior Iowant, he got a hit on Zhao, a free shot. Field goal attempt. Ryan Fluke.
Want to come away with points.
6-yarder is up and good. The former walk-on who earned a scholarship just prior to the season and also named a captain gets it done, and Alabama increases their lead to 10-0 with 4:43 to go in the first quarter. So 2 pretty good drives by the Alabama offense. Some people thought they were off to a slow start last week, going 3 and out in consecutive opportunities.
Well, I think last week when they played Vanderbilt was up for that football game. Woody Woodenhofer has an excellent defense, and they put a lot of pressure on Alabama. I think you're really seeing some excellent adjustments by Alabama's offense, and they're responding.
And Flugner to kick off for the Crimson Tide. Sanford, who averages over 24 yards at kickoff return in his career at Houston, to get this one at about the 4. He's got a lot of room. Across the 30, across the 40, to midfield. Flugner wrestles him out of bounds at about the 31-yard line, a return of 65 yards.
Well, if you're Kim Helton, that's exactly what you wanted to have happen, something to give a spark to your offense. This is an outstanding block right here. He's just look at the seam, find that little, then explode. He gets to the outside right here. He sets up a good block right there. Now it's down the sideline. This is exactly what Mike Dubose did not want to have happen. He does not want to give that life to Houston.
Well, Sanford putting Houston in great field position. He is the single setback. Sanford. Nowhere to go. Miguel Merritt. And Excuse me, that was Mike Green on the stop, but Miguel Merritt, who suspended last week, gets the start today. A captain steps up to make the play.
Oh, that's an interesting stat. I think that tells the whole first part of this football game. Look at the total yards. Incredible.
Sanford back in the game now. Mike Green to the sideline. Green goes 250. Sanford. You see how quick he is and how come he is so effective.
Well, he's small. You know, that's the thing that's interesting. He's only 5'8", but he's 200 pounds. But you see the explosion into the line. Watch this. He takes the ball one step right here, draw, bang. He's running full speed right now. There's no acceleration. He's at full speed. That's a good play.
Sanford, 5'8", 200 pounds. Career numbers. 4th all-time at Houston. Had 1,054 yards last year. 2-time All-Conference USA. Solid credentials for Sanford. He moves it close to the 15, maybe down to the 14. Stay tuned at halftime for our Bell South You Call the Play feature. A look at a big call from SEC games past. There have certainly been a bunch of those in time.
Well, big series here right now. Marvin Constant needs to take control of this defense in there, get them grouped up here, and hold them to a field goal try. That's what they're trying to do on defense.
2nd down and 4. Karan Hill, Sanford in the backfield. It's Sanford. He is slippery, to say the least.
Yeah.
Salim Rashid had a chance to get him, but Kenny Smith eventually made the stop.
Yeah, Rashid just missed him, flat out missed him. When you get him in the backfield, you got to wrap him up. Big down right here for both teams. 3rd down, you want to stop them, you don't want to give them. They've got to make the 10-yard line, so they've got about almost 3 yards to go.
Mike Green, number 2, is the tailback. Hill in motion. It's Green, and he stopped for a loss.
Look who made up for it. Rashid, number 11, burst through there, and he got an arm on him, and that's what disrupted the play. Again, watch number 11, sneak through there, and he gets an arm right there. That's enough to turn him around. You see Constant, number 45, come in there, drive him down. You want penetration on defense? This is a great way to stop a great running back. And then when you get up, you celebrate. Look at Miles. Boy, he's excited.
Here's Mike Clark. Missed a 32-yarder last week. This one from 32. And he's got it. So Mike Clark puts Houston on the board. They trail by a touchdown, but a kickoff return by Kettrick Sanford opened up the door for the Houston Cougars to get on the scoreboard with 1:27 to go in the first quarter. Here, Billings deep for the tie. It's a line drive. Will it stay in play? Yes, it will. Here's the deal on it in the end zone, and Alabama will take over from their own 20. Alabama marched 80 yards on their first drive of the game, capped off by a 25-yard touchdown reception from Andrew Zhao to Shaun Alexander. And there is the Alabama huddle on the sidelines. They like to call this their form of a no huddle.
Yeah, it's really great. They huddle on the sidelines. It doesn't allow the defense to make adjustments. And you can see who's running in that quarterback, and it's not number 5, Andrew Zhao.
That'd be number 14, Tyler Watts, the 6'3", 215-pound redshirt freshman out of Pelham, Alabama. Didn't throw a pass last week against Vanderbilt. The officials stopped the clock, and a timeout is going to be taken. They indicated Alabama would take the timeout.
Alabama. They're fair.
Well, last week, Dave, against Vanderbilt, Shaun Alexander represented half the offensive touches for Vanderbilt in the first couple of drives. Today, Shaun Alexander, a big factor.
Well, he was something else last week, and he certainly is this week. We talked about his change of motion. You see how well he protects the football. When you pitch it to him, picks up great blocks, and then just explodes. Runs through tackles. That was the time he picked up that first down.
And then defensively, a couple of freshmen getting it done for the Crimson Tide. And it's 10-3 Alabama.
Well, you know, you talk about playing freshmen, and that's really important when you stop and think about it. I mean, 6 months ago, they were in high school. I mean, they're out there playing. They're graduating high school in June. So, I mean, it's quite an adjustment from coming from a high school player to a Division I Alabama football team.
Here's what Shaun had to do with the first possession. 46 yards of the 80. He also had 4 touches of the 9 on that drive. 1st and 10 for the Tide. The pitch to Bohannon. Tries to get outside, does so. He's to the 40. Knocked out of bounds at the 44 by Mike James. And a good run by Bohannon.
And I saw a block that time. I thought it was 76, Baxley. Good block by the outside tackle. Running with the play. Now slide along the line. See if it isn't 76. Right there, Baxley gets a good block. Number 76 getting some playing time. In for Chris Samuels, and that's quite a change.
Another freshman on that offensive line.
Look, McAdley there blocking. Look at that. That's what you call running them down the field. They look like they're dancing or chicken fighting, but that's a good block.
Sam Collins with the catch. Another freshman. 6'2", 180. Alabama is playing a lot of young players. That's his first collegiate completion for Tyler Watts.
Boy, look at those high school numbers. Wow. That's pretty good for a career, not just a senior year.
Let's not forget he rushed for another 700 yards and another 14 touchdowns.
Yeah. Quite a football player, and that's why you want to give him time. And it's interesting. I talked to Andrew yesterday, Zal. I said, Andrew, does it really bother you now? Seriously. He said, well, I thought it would, but it doesn't, because I really like to see him do well.
Alexander back on the field for the Tide. Watts tries to dump it off to Alexander. Threw it behind him a little bit. Jeremy Maxson covering Alexander on that play. But we talked to Coach DeBose about throwing the football with Tyler Watts, and he said it just didn't work out last week. It wasn't by design, but he would like to see him throw the football some today.
Well, it's interesting as you look at a quarterback, and you don't want to call it a controversy because it's really not a controversy. It's just getting him playing time. And Andrew Zal said, I cheer him on. I stand on the sideline. I look at him. I try to have eye contact with him. I want him to do well. They room together on the away trip, so it's 2 quarterbacks. They're good friends. And I think that's quite a compliment to Zal to allow Watts and not let it bother him.
3rd down for Alabama. 4 of 5 today. Make that 4 of 6 as Watts throws it over the head of Alexander.
Well, now Watts is getting some pressure because all of a sudden Houston is sending that double blitz up the middle and trying to get in his face and get him rattled. They did on that series. It's going to bring up 4th down. They're going to have to give the ball back.
That will bring on Patrick Morgan. Kenny Hill is deep for the Houston Cougars. Patrick, 8 punts, 42-yard average. Last week against Vanderbilt, a long of 52. Hit 2 punts that were fair caught from his own 32. Down the sidelines. It's a favorable bounce inside the 10. How about that? Down to the 6-yard line.
That was about 30 yards in the air and 17 on the ground.
A 47-yard kick for Patrick Morgan. Pins Houston back inside the 10. 4 seconds left in the first quarter. Stands in the end zone, gets the handoff to the near side. Takes it to about the 10, a gain of close to 4. Dixon on the stop, and that will do it for the first quarter. So Alabama looks very impressive offensively and defensively. And they lead by a touchdown after 1. Here in 1999, Mike Green is the tailback. McKinley back to throw, looking deep. Covered nicely by Alabama, but a great reception by Orlando Iglesias, the 6'2", 210-pound junior out of Miami.
Dave, Kim Helton told us that Iglesias is one of those big guys that goes up for the football. And watch the position he gets inside on Reggie Miles, number 23. He's got inside position. It's like a basketball play where you're going up for the football. Again, this is a look-off route. In other words, right now, right there, boom, he's got acceleration. Now watch him keep inside position. Now it's just circling around, use your body, and he goes up high for it.
Iglesias, a very physical player, and he used it there nicely. Big gain and got Houston out of trouble. Mike Green picks up a couple of yards. Here's a look at our Jefferson Pilot first quarter stats. Alabama with 76 yards rushing.
Look at that. Look at that big 1 yard rushing there for Houston. They did nothing in the first quarter. They could have easily been down 14 to nothing. What happened was that Alabama jumped on top of them and kept them in the hole. And that's exactly what you want to do from a defensive standpoint. Now all of a sudden Alabama's let them a little bit off the ropes. Now Houston's getting a little bit of life.
That is a helter-skelter formation. We saw Iglesias in motion, across the middle, caught down to about the 34-yard line. Scott Reginbald with the catch.
Well, you saw the fake underneath, the fake handoff on the slice down and through. That might have held the safety in the middle and allowed him to come downfield. Again, a little fake in the middle right here, right there. That holds the safety now. Come back, look, bang, throw a big target down there. You see he's wide open on the play. That was a new little wrinkle.
McKinley, 6th on the UH passing charts with 4,400 yards and 28 touchdowns. Handoff right up the gut. Gain of about 1. Mike Green with the carry.
And I am really impressed with Salim Rashid's play to the ball. You want these younger players, these freshmen, to run to the football and not be faked out by the play fake. And Rashid is always around the football. He's got 3 tackles already in this game, moving to the football, getting into play, coming and cleaning up. He's got great reaction to the football.
Well, he's the first true freshman defensive starter on opening day in the history of Alabama football, which goes back 105 years.
Big down here. You want to get a sack. You want to hold and bring up that 3rd down situation.
2nd and 9, McKinley with some time. Wide open is Iglesias inside the 10 to about the 7-yard line. Iglesias with 7 catches and a touchdown last week, with 2 big receptions here today, a gain of 28.
This is a runoff. In other words, what you do is you run the corner off and then turn around quick. Look how wide open he is. You can see right there that Lewis was taking the fake, going deep on it. And when Iglesias turned around, he was wide open. Now just protect the football and get the yardage that you can get. All of a sudden you get the feeling that Houston is back into the flow. They were stunned to start, but now they're back in. Now it's time for Alabama to take the starch out of their sails.
3 wide receivers in the game. Handoff to Sanford. Big hit at about the 6-yard line. Marvin Constant with his 3rd stop, the freshman out of Tuscaloosa.
Well, we talk about freshmen again, and Marvin Constant is one of them. Number 45, when he runs to the football, he doesn't take the fake. He sees it all the way, slides along, makes a great tackle. Big down. Again, 2nd down. You want to hold them at least to a field goal try. You don't want to allow that 7 points. That's what you're talking about in the defensive huddle.
2 tight ends, Reginbald and Pritchett, but the handoff goes to Sanford down to about the 2. Mike Green.
There's a flag down on the play, I think, right in the middle of the field. Now where that flag is, oh, it's a clip on the offense. Wow, that's going to be a huge play. That's what you call, and look at Kim Helton. You can see those lips kind of curling down. He does not like that. That's one of the offensive linemen clipping in there, diving on the back of the defensive players, back of their legs.
Well, Mike Green goes 250. You give him the ball inside the 5, and he's going to gain 3-4 yards just by being so big.
Foul was clipping by the offense. A 15 from the spot of the clip, still 2nd down.
Well, now watch this penalty, Dave. On this last play, this is clip inside the box zone. Let's see if we can perhaps see it in tight right here. It's diving on the back of the legs. Oh, right there's the clip. Right in there was the clip. You can see it real easy. It was on against Marvin Constant.
Well, that is a big, big penalty. You go from what would have been a 3rd down and 1 on the 1 to 2nd and 18.
Now you got to pass the football.
Mike Green and Baldwin in the backfield. Little shovel pass to Baldwin, and he is taken down at the 18-yard line. A big play by Kendall Moorhead.
Nice play by Moorhead. If he doesn't get him, this is going to pick up a lot of yards. Kendall Moorhead's the defensive end right here on the bottom of your screen. He's going to run out here and make the tackle right there. Look at him get up, come along right there, pick up speed, make the tackle. Again, if he doesn't get him, That's going to go for about 15 more yards.
Moorhead had a good opening game against Vanderbilt. Got a big play there. It's 3rd and goal from the 17. Shotgun formation. Josh Lovelady, the junior.
I think the clock ran out. Can you believe that? Or else Lovelady jumped on the snap. You're probably right. You were talking about Josh Lovelady.
Houston in great position. Now just being pushed.
Fall is a dead ball. False start by the offense. 5 yards from the previous spot. Still 3rd down.
Boy, that'll make the old offensive lineman in you like Kim Helton. That'll make your teeth grind, especially when you're taking it from somebody that's one of your star players.
Preseason All-Conference USA made this is his 20th straight start for Lovelady, the 6'3", 320-pound junior. 3rd and goal now from the 22. McKinley across the middle, just out of the reach of his wide receiver, Kendall Williams, and that'll bring up 4th down.
Well, this was a well-thrown ball. It's on a rope right across the middle. It's just a crossing pattern. Again, you'll see Williams, number 3, come across the middle again. Sit back there, look, and drill it in there. Look how close this is. This is the difference between touchdowns and incompletions. Right off the fingertips.
Good pass by McKinley.
Yes, excellent pass.
Mike Clark on to attempt a 39-yarder.
When you think about it, it's going to be, what, 3rd down on the 2? I think he made it.
And he pulls it off to the left. No good from 39 is Mike Clark. So Alabama dodges a bullet. Kim Helton can't believe it. His team was right on the doorstep, and he's hot. Alabama still with the lead. 10-3, 9:53 to go in the 2nd quarter from Legion Field. 1st and 10. Ball rest on the 22-yard line. Crimson Tide just dodged a bullet. And here they give it to their own bullet. Shaun Alexander across the 25. Landry's out. Of course, moving in on a number of passing records already. Moved in the top 10 in a couple of records. And who did he beat?
I don't believe it. I do not believe it. I don't want to tell you. Snake. They're saying that he beat the Snake. There he is right next door. And in my book, he will never beat the Snake. Snake, you're still there.
So Andrews out, moves into 10th in that particular category ahead of the Snake. Alexander continues to move up the Alabama rushing list. And he picks up the 1st down.
You see the way he runs through tackles? He is unbelievable. He runs right through Kenny Hill. When we come on the outside, what you want to do is you want to explode. Now watch number 4, Kenny Hill, come up here. He's going to have him, right? He's zeroed in on. Watch this. Boom. He just runs right through his arm tackle, and there's an extra 10 yards. You see those legs just keep on churning? That's what makes Shaun Alexander great.
Shaun at 6'1", 220. 73 yards. 3 wide receivers in the game for Alabama.
He's keeping up that 8-yard per carry average.
Jim Bowen's in motion for the Tide. Watts.
Throwback screen.
Terry Jones Jr. Dodges one. Houston defender still on his feet inside the 30, down to the 20-yard line. Terry Jones with an awesome run. He picks up 41 on the catch.
Yeah, this is a throwback screen. In other words, all the action is going to start this way. Quarterback's going to come out of there with the football. The linemen are look like. Then all of a sudden you're going to see the lineman creep out to the left. Again, watch this. All the action looks this way. Now watch those linemen bail out, get in front of them. And there's Terry Jones right there. And again, he breaks the tackle of Malone, and now he's just off and running. Again, there's Malone trying to come up for a tackle. There's another one. Terry Jones, a huge, big target.
The 2nd quarter. Stack formation on the top of the screen. With the quick handoff, Shaun Alexander dragged down. Nice play by Mike James, who makes his 6th unofficial stop of the afternoon.
Well, that's how you're going to have to stay with Shaun Alexander. You've got to get those hands on him. This is what you want to see. Real time, break to the outside. Ouch. Welcome. That's the way you come up and hit him.
Emil White with the pop. But Terry Jones Jr., 2 receptions, 85 yards, not a bad average. Only had 1 catch for 6 yards last week. Of course, his father, coach here at Alabama, former Tide player, Green Bay Packer. This guy might be playing in the NFL. Shaun Alexander dances his way for 17 yards and a Crimson Tide touchdown.
Boy, you got to give a little bit of credit to the fullback, and that's Dustin McClintock, because he came up and just knocked out Malone, number 19, on the play. That's what opened up the hole back to the inside. Again, follow the fullback. You'll see him right there, number 30. Bang! Out to the outside. Shaun sees that block, comes back inside, and it's nothing but pay dirt.
The 3rd rushing touchdown of the season for Shaun Alexander. That one goes for 17. Flugner for the point after. It's up, and it is good. And Alabama increases their lead to 17-3. Shaun Alexander with 2 touchdowns, 1 by air, 1 by ground. Back in a moment. Alabama increases their lead to 14 points, 7:49 to go in the 2nd quarter. After the Shaun Alexander touchdown run. Flugner to kick off.
Well, it's a good kick. Real high, right to the 1-yard line. Perfect.
Bell with it at the goal line, stumbles at the 10. Down at about the 13-yard line. And let's check in with our sideline man, Greg Bowser. Greg?
Thanks, Dave. I tell you, Shaun Alexander's having quite a day already in the first half. He's got 93 yards running the football and 1 touchdown. He's got 25 yards receiving with a touchdown. So he's doing everything he can to help his Alabama team. But the key is number 30, McClintock, the fullback. And guess where he's from, guys? The junior is out of Texas. It's one of those guys that Houston would have loved, Dave, to have kept at home, and he'd be playing for Houston right now.
The only Texan on this Alabama roster. McKinley backed up on his own 12. Mike Green gets stuffed by a swarm of Tide defenders led by Salim Rashid.
Well, I tell you, I've talked about it a lot, but Rashid has that nose for the football. Now I know what Mike DuBose really likes about him. Watch number 11 pop into your screen. He's going to take on the block first, and watch him. When he breaks outside here, he just pops. Boom, there he is. And look at the form on his tackle. Got his face right in the middle of his chest, arms wrapped around him. Get up, and you're allowed to be excited. You've got a lot of years left here at Alabama.
Sanford in a tailback for Green. 2nd and 12. McKinley to throw it. Fumble. Alabama.
Oh, did he have it? That looked like he had it. And boy, look at Marvin Constant. Marvin Constant ran around and said, he's got it.
Incomplete pass. McCardle was the receiver. Constant with the pop in the middle.
Boy, that was a good pop. That ball came right out. Now watch this. See if he has control of the football and feet on the ground. Boom. Oh, I don't know that. Marvin Constant, maybe he has a reason to run around and yell. But again, there's the ball, control. Oh, that's catch all the way. That's fumble. I'm sorry. I don't like to criticize officials because they have a tough job, but that's fumble all the way.
Marvin Constant has been active in the middle for that Alabama defense. 3rd down, 12. McKinley.
Boy, good coverage there.
Pritchett, the intended receiver.
Bailey with great coverage, inside position.
See if these punts.
Well, they should get the ball inside the 50-yard line. That's what they want.
Patterson inside the end zone. Millens dodges one Houston defender, has some room across the 50. And that is where he's brought down at the 44. Micah Malone with the stop. Jefferson cannot do.
I want to tell you, he's one of the treats in college football.
Zhao back in the game. He hands it off to McClintock.
Hey, how about that, Dave? Kind of like McClintock's gotten all these good blocks, and all of a sudden Mike DuBose said, hey, let's give him a couple runs at it. He deserves it, doesn't he?
Shaun Alexander said he wouldn't trade Dustin McClintock for any other fullback in the country.
And today, look at that 8.5-yard average. I wouldn't trade him either if I was you.
Things seem to be working quite well.
Well, he's a great lead blocker. He gets his block. He's solid, and he takes them off their feet. And that's the block that Shaun Alexander always reads.
Zhao with a great play fake. Across the middle, Millens! Just out of his reach.
I wondered if Millens misjudged that.
Canyon pockets and the alligator arms at dinner time. Here's the pitch to Alexander. Look at him, keep his feet moving, still grinding down to about the 32. Alexander would not be denied. Malone on the stop.
That was a 4-yard run, but I think he ran through Kenny Hill, number 4, and about 3 other players. He just would not go down.
4th and 1. What will Mike DuBose do? It looks like he's going to keep his offense on the field.
I think you go for it in this situation. You got Shaun Alexander, you got Dustin McClintock. Why not run that fullback just straight ahead? Let Shaun Alexander find that little crease. That's what the crowd wants.
Ball rest on the 32. McClintock, the fullback. Alexander, the tailback. The quick handoff.
Just give it to McClintock.
And McClintock should have the first down. He's at right about the 30-yard line.
Well, he's 253 pounds. And he's a load coming at you, whether he's got the football or he's blocking. Again, you can see the linemen, they're all hunkering down. Look at him, all right down there. Everybody's got nose on nose. Just give him the football, and look at McClintock. Just stick his nose right up in there, and first down.
Well, Dave, the Houston defensive line averages 267 pounds. The Bama offensive line averages about 311.
Yeah, they're big ones. Well, they've had a couple changes. You see right in the middle, Griff Redmill took over the center spot. And they had to move Portis in, so they've made some changes.
4 wide receivers in the game. Alexander, the lone tailback. It's about 2 on the carry. Well, we got a 14-point Alabama lead here from Legion Field. Across the country in the top 25, Penn State leading Pitt 10-7 at halftime. Michigan by 20 over Rice, and Wisconsin over Ball State. Your Nittany Lions were huge favorites. And here,
oh, look at that one, local
UAB
game.
fans trying to just put any points on the board against Virginia Tech. They have yet to score against Virginia Tech in their 2 previous meetings. Here's Alexander, cuts it back. Zhao with a big block. And a late hit against Houston. Will Pettis on the stop.
Boy. And Alexander's down. Well, nope, he's popped up. He's probably tired from all those carries, but he didn't spring up like he usually does. You can see him right there. He's trying to get the wind back in, but that personal foul is really going to hurt Houston.
Will Cuthbert just basically popped up from his position, and that's a 5-yard penalty going against Alabama, and that's exactly what the Alabama coaching staff said they could not do.
It's a dead ball. False start by the out. 5 yards from the previous spot. Still first down.
Mike DuBose was overall pleased with the performance last week. Kim Helton was very happy with his defensive performance. His team dominated the football game. They caused 8 fumbles, recovered 5 of them, also picked off a pass. I mean, that is impressive, folks. I don't know, Dave and I were talking about it, that we've ever heard of a team causing 8 fumbles in a football game.
Especially when they only had 9 possessions.
Alexander dancing his way around inside the 20 to about the 17 or 18-yard line.
There's nowhere to go that time, and he made a positive play out of a big negative play. You saw a good example of those feet that we've talked so much about, darting in, darting out, trying to find that little seam. But again, Alabama's sticking. The only one that I see out there really that I think is one of the starters is Chris Samuels, because I see Ephraim at center. I see Ralston, number 77, is in there. Portis, who came up because of the injury that happened to Paul Hogan. McClintock is standing on sidelines, so Mike DuBose switching a lot of players.
4 wide receivers in the game. 3 at the bottom, 1 up top. McCadley's up top. Zhao rushed out of the pocket, has plenty of daylight. He's inside the 10. Great tackle by Wayne Rogers, or that might have been 6.
If Rogers doesn't get him, that's 6 points, or at least a first down. I wondered if there was a flag on there on the tail end of that play, or if there's.
There is a flag
Yes.
on about the 2-yard line.
Now that could be holding. Nope, it's a clip. I thought it might be holding by the wide receiver, but they're going to call a clip. That is really going to negate a big play by Alabama, because instead of having 3rd down on about the 8-yard line, they're going to be way back.
Personal foul, clipping by the offense, 15 yards from the spot.
Clean block. Fake to Alexander. The dump off to Millens. He avoided 4 or 5 Houston Cougar defenders. Finally, Micah Malone able to make the stop. Micah now with 5 tackles and credited with half a sack today.
Well, when you're 180 pounds like Freddie Millens is, number 15, you try to avoid contact. And that's exactly what he did on that play. Jumping around, running inside. You can see he ran about 30 yards, but he only gained about 4.
Temperatures in the mid-80s.
Look at that blue sky. It's just beautiful. You couldn't ask for a better day. Last week was only 84, but it felt like 100.
It was the hottest 84 degrees in history. We'll just ask Greg Bowser about that. Shaun Alexander up over 100 yards already here in the first half. His average is slipping, though. They're going to have to do something to get that back
average
up.
per carry is down from 8 yards per carry to 6.8.
Well, it's 3rd down and 15. All rest on the 17. Out in the shotgun. Steps up in the pocket and rifles it. Nearly picked off right in front. He's been good from 26. And he hooks it left. It looked like the snap was low.
Yeah, I think that was a bad snap where the ball skidded back to the holder, Morgan, who is the punter, and then he just never got the football up for Flugner to follow through.
Bradley Ledbetter, the snapper on special teams.
Let's watch that snap again. See, it slips down there. Now, see, he never gets the football up. When he gets it up, soccer-style kickers have got to have that angle to the football. They cock that ball over a little bit so that the fat of the football is where his foot meets, and he just never got it up.
Well, Alabama had good field position and got nothing to show for it. But they lead it by 14 with 1:45 to go in the second quarter. And Houston will take over 1st and 10 on their 20. Leaf pin in it, tailback now. McKinley drops back across the middle. Sanford with the catch at the 42. Good looking play by the Cougars. McKinley to Sanford, and it's a hurry up offense for McKinley and company.
Yeah, and if you give McKinley time, he's going to sit back there. He's going to pick you apart. Alabama's got to get some pressure on him. They're trying to bring 4 down linemen to get that pressure, but you've got to get in his face. You've got to get those hands up.
Gain of 22. Clock ticking, 1:30.
That's how you get the pressure on him.
Oh, nearly taken away by Cornelius Griffin, the All-American candidate. Nearly very aggressive today.
Boy, this is a spread. They got 5 wide receivers.
McKinley under pressure, just dumps it off. Spent a lot of time looking on the left side of the field for Kettrick Sanford. Quarterback was pressured by Kenny Smith, the junior out of Meridian, Mississippi. Put the heat on McKinley.
And I can tell you, if you're in the defensive huddle right now, those defensive backs are saying, hey, you got to get pressure on them. Don't worry about the run. You see those big linemen when they got those hands on their hips like Griffin does there, number 97. That means they're sucking deep. This is when you got a minute left until halftime. You just say, hey, guys, suck it up, get some pressure on the quarterback. We'll cover them. You don't want to give up 7 points here.
1:18 to go before halftime. Nearly picking it off was Milo Lewis, who stepped in front of Iglesias.
Oh, Lewis, what he's jumping up and down is that the band would have been playing about now, because he was straight to the sideline. Watch this. He steps right in front of him. He's got it right there, right? Boom. Now watch him. There's nobody around him to the left of your screen. And look at him. Oh, they've been playing the band.
So Houston to punt. Patterson.
Here comes a block. Boy, they were coming after him.
Arvin Richard back to receive the punt. Takes it at the 24. Sidesteps some folks. And he kept coming to the near side of the field. He might have been able to break that for a big one, but a flag down on the play. Stop made by Mike Zajac. And there is a flag down at the 27-yard line, 28-yard line of Alabama. Punt of 34 yards.
You almost have to think this goes, yeah, it's going to be against the defense. Face mask.
That's a big penalty if it's a 15-yarder.
Foul was a 5-yard face mask during return. Team 5 yards from the end of the run, 1st down.
Well, your source for sports on the internet should be jpsports.com. It's now online with a great new look and many new features. Each week we'll bring you previews of our upcoming telecast and in-depth coverage of the SEC. For the inside scoop, log on to jpsports.com. you can actually read something that my partner Dave Rowe writes.
Hey, wait a minute.
Andrews out back to pass. Another flag down. Collins with the catch close to the first down, but a flag down near midfield.
Now that flag is thrown way in the secondary, 15 yards off the line of scrimmage. Got to be something, pass interference, push off, or holding. Oh, he saw illegal motion all the way from back there.
He's 20 yards away from the line of scrimmage.
Excuse me.
Here's Doyle Jackson with the call.
Foul was illegal procedure by the offense, 5 yards from the previous spot, still first down.
Well, coming up at halftime, this is what you will have an opportunity to witness. Our SEC flashback will have scores of some other games. Penn State in a battle right now with Pitt, and some stats and highlights from the first half. Join Greg Bowser for all our halftime activities coming up in 50 seconds of game action. 4 wide receivers in the game. Alabama pushed back to the 28. Zal bobbled the snap and then gets popped and is taken down at the 30.
Dave, 2 schools of thought right here. 58 seconds left to go in this half. You don't want to make a mistake. You saw the bobble that time. You saw Zal bring the football down. But Alabama trying to move the football, that might have been the pump and go where you just kind of pump it and go. But I think Mike DuBose would be happy to just run out the score right here, go into a 14-point lead in this first half. I think I'd give it to Shaun Alexander.
That's exactly what they do. Shaun tries to get to the outside. Across the 40, gets a block, steps out of bounds at the 44. He's adding to his first half totals. He's over 100 yards with that 14-yard gain. He's up around 115, 16 yards now. Timeout taken.
Now you have to start thinking field goal in this situation.
Alabama takes the timeout as they're at the 45. They need to go about 20, 25 yards to feel good for Flugner.
Do you see the flag? Now that flag is blowing that way. That's towards the end zone. I don't care where those other flags are blowing. You pick out a flag on the other end of the end zone and say, no, the wind's blowing that way.
I just thought I'd bring that to your attention.
Ken Dennis, our director, he'll come to my aid. Thanks, Ken.
Andrews out with the incomplete pass, looking for Freddie Millens. There's 8 seconds to play here in the first half. But the flags to our right.
No, I don't want to hear about the flags to our right. They're playing to the left.
Okay. Yeah, there. See?
Oh, no, I don't believe. Wait a minute, that flag is stuck to the pole.
You don't know what you're talking about.
I've been doing this for 5 years. Ken Dennis has defended me. Now he's with you.
You're getting up way too early. Shaun Alexander will run out the clock as Ahmad Charles gets credit for the stop. But Shaun Alexander, what you're talking about.
I've been doing this for 5 years. Ken Dennis has defended me. Now he's with you.
You're getting up way too early. Shaun Alexander will run out the clock as Ahmad Charles gets credit for the stop. But Shaun Alexander, great story here in the first half as Alabama puts 17 points on the board and they hold Houston to just 3. And let's go down and check in with Greg Bowser. Greg.
Thanks, Dave. Coach DuBose, coach, first half, you're up 17-3.
Well, we've made some plays offensively, made some plays defensively. Houston has played well. They've got an excellent plan for us. We got to just settle down a little bit. Our substitutions are giving us a little bit of problems. We miscalling a few things. We got ourselves down so that we could get a couple more scores and didn't get anything, came away empty. We got to go back in, come back out and play like it's nothing.
Looks like you played a lot of offensive linemen in the first half.
We're playing a lot of people. We're trying to keep them fresh and trying to develop a little depth at the same time. But it's a 60-minute football game. We got to get ready to go 30 more minutes.
Thank you, Coach. Coach Mike DuBose and his Alabama team, they lead 17-3. We'll be back in Birmingham after this.
Today's Bell South SEC Game of the Week is being brought to you by Dodge. See the friendly Dodge dealer near you. By Conoco. Quality gasoline throughout the South and across the nation. Conoco keeps you moving. By Domino's Heatwave. Fresh, hot, and delicious Domino's pizza how you like it. By BMW. Visit your local BMW center for a test drive. BMW, the ultimate driving machine. By Fram Extra Guard, the only filter with the rough textured sure grip top. It makes changing your filter a lot easier. And by Sleep In. The next time you travel, stay at Sleep In a class by itself.
Have to go to the air. Big series to start with. This is where you've made your adjustments. This is where you come out. The defense has made some corrections. Houston's offense has made some corrections. Now you see who wants it.
Fluger's kick sails down to about the 2-yard line. Across the 20. Leaf pin with the return, and that's decent field position for the Houston Cougars.
Look for a lot more dump passes by McKinley as he finds those backs out of the backfield. Try to get the ball to Sanford a little bit. Maybe even, they almost call it like it's an extended handoff, and it's that little dump pass out in the flat. Get him one-on-one. That's what they're going to try to do.
Sanford, 6 carries, 22 yards. Mike Green, the 250-pound tailback, 6 carries for 3 yards. And the setback is Sanford. McKinley. There's an out route to the 35, looking for Iglesias. Overthrew him. Kelf Bailey on the coverage for Alabama.
Well, that's good coverage by Bailey. He's like a shadow on that play.
McKinley in the first half, 6 of 13 for 105 yards. Had a long completion to Iglesias, 39 yards in the first half. McKinley was 10 of 13 against Rice last week. Now, Houston only ran 41 plays last week. I mean, they didn't exactly get in an offensive group last week.
You're exactly right. They want to keep a drive together. They want to put some first downs on the board.
McKinley with a sidearm, 3-quarter pass. Completed about the 35 to Scott Regenbald, the tight end. That'll be a first down for Houston. Marcus Spencer on the coverage, and he also picked up the stop. That's 4 tackles for Spencer. And that's an area that Alabama coaches hope that they would see an improvement in between Dixon and Spencer. They just rely on the 2 juniors back there, and they didn't really perform, I wouldn't say physically, but maybe mentally like the coaches had anticipated.
Exactly what you talk about mental intensity. You know, there's physical intensity where you come up and smash mouth, but then there's mental intensity where you don't make errors.
Handoff to Karan Hill, the fullback. He picks up a couple.
Now this is exactly what Houston wants to do. Keep this drive alive, eat up some of the clock. They've taken it down. It's going to be under 14 minutes now. So they've controlled it a little bit, pick up those first downs. If you're on the Alabama side of the ball, you're saying penetration, don't give up the long drive, and you can see him starting to get a little bit juiced up in that huddle. Kenny Smith, he's one of the leaders out there.
3 wide receivers in the game. Sanford, the lone setback. McKinley calling an audible to line of scrimmage. His coaches don't mind him doing. Loops it out to the far side. Looking for Iglesias, and a flag is thrown at the 40-yard line. Reggie Miles on the coverage for Alabama. That almost looked like offensive.
Well, it did look like offensive interference because Miles had the inside position, and it looked as if Iglesias came over top of him. Now, was Miles making contact with him as they were running down the line? And according to Mike DeBose's look, yes.
That's a big penalty.
See, the defender can keep his position. He can't run through the receiver, but he can keep his position and not allow the receiver to come through.
Pass interference by the defense, 15 yards from the previous spot, followed by first down.
Let's take a peek at this. It's going to be on the right of your screen. See if he doesn't have position. Oh, he runs into him. Yeah, that's a tough one. And look at McKinley. He saw the flag. He knew exactly what it was. From the angle we initially saw that, you didn't see the run into him.
Sanford nowhere to go. Might have gotten back to the line of scrimmage. Alabama front line led by Reggie Grimes makes the stop. But a big penalty. That pushes the ball into Alabama territory in this opening drive.
And you see some of the changes in there. There's Kenny Smith. He wasn't even supposed to play this week. He was hurt and had a boil on his leg, was in the hospital, I think, 3 days or something this week. They thought if he could get 15, 20 snaps, they'd really be happy.
Well, his leg got infected, and the coaches and the doctors were somewhat concerned, and obviously they were real concerned by keeping him in the hospital. He is on the field right now. McKinley rolls out of the pocket, overthrows his receiver on the far side, Jeremy McCardle. That'll bring up third down.
Boy, this is a big down. You hate to keep on using the rhetoric of this is a big down, but it's big for both teams because Houston wants to keep this drive alive and get points off of it.
Oh, the Nittany Lions. Dave Rowe, your Nittany Lions. Michigan pounding Rice. And Wisconsin all over Ball State. That's in the third quarter.
I think they need some of those 80 points that they scored last week. Hey, Alabama Birmingham coming back.
Kentucky and UConn tied at 7. McKinley on 3rd and 10. Under pressure, unloads it to the far side. Iglesias with a great move over there on Reggie Miles. Came back for the football, used his strength and power, and basically by himself picked up the first down.
Boy, you're looking for separation. Top of your screen, you're going to look for separation. Drive him deep. Now watch when he plants. Right here, he sees that first down marker. When he plants, you see how Miles has to kind of gather himself. That might have been a little bit of a push off there, too. And look at Miles getting up saying, hey, wait a minute. Wasn't that a push off? But Iglesias had an outstanding game last week, and he's their big receiver in this game today.
7 catches, 82 yards, and a touchdown last week. 63 catches overall last year. Mike Green with the football up the middle. Another Houston first down close to the 20-yard line. The Cougars pounding it against the Tide now.
Well, that's what we said. This is what Houston wanted to do. Control the football. Don't give it to Alabama. Good cutback here. Not a Shaun Alexander type cutback, but good vision. Sees that little slash back hole there. Puts it down. And one thing you have to compliment Houston on is that they're not fumbling the football. There's Ellis Johnson, the defensive coordinator. He's got some concerns. He needs a stop.
1st and 10 at the Alabama 21. Mike Green again up the middle. Breaks a couple of tackles down to about the 16-yard line. Kenny Smith finally wrestles him to the ground.
You know, they talk about Mike Green and his size. He's 5'11", but he weighs like 240 or 250. He's thick. Look at how thick he is.
And Kim Help told us last night, just because he's 250 pounds, don't think he's a fullback. He is a true tailback.
You don't think of 250-pound tailbacks. I'm sorry. Not when I played. They were all defensive linemen.
Well, it's 2nd and 5. McKinley nowhere to throw except to the corner of the end zone. I think he was just trying to throw that out of bounds so nobody would get it.
Boy, tough decisions here for Ellis Johnson. Do you drop into the coverage, the defensive coordinator? Do you drop back into the coverage and try to protect, or do you try to get pressure on him? That's the decision he has to make. You see his little, there's what he's giving his signal. Looks like it might be a blitz. Thumbs up, go up the middle, get pressure on him.
Houston just 1 of 6 in 3rd down conversions today, Dave. It's 3rd and 5 right now, and this is one of those opportunities that they have to convert on.
Yes. And if you're Alabama, they're going to bring a lot of people up. They've got 7 or 8 in the box, and they scare Houston into a timeout.
Alabama was probably bringing the kitchen sink. Houston calls timeout. It's a big 3rd down for the Cougars. Back in a moment.
From getting yards, you don't allow him to have the football. He doesn't have a carry yet.
Freddie Millens at the goal line.
Oh,
across the 20, plenty of room. Across the 30, flag down at the 27-yard line. And usually we know what that means. A return of 33. That is usually what that means. Let's check in with Greg Bowser. Greg?
Well, Dave Iglesias had a big catch that time and came off limping just a little bit. Had the wind knocked out of him, but he's okay, and he's excited on the sidelines. His coaches are telling him they've got to get more of that kind of play from him. In the coach's words, we need more big plays and some more scores. Back to you guys.
You see that great concentration, pulled that football in. When he came down, came on his back. That's where he lost his breath, but he had enough breath to stand up and celebrate.
Here comes the Alabama offense. Andrews out. In at quarterback. And the Houston Cougar defense. The 4-2-5 alignment. We try to slow down the Tide here with 10:41 to go in the 3rd quarter. Jerry Jones Jr. in motion. The sweep to Alexander. Houston all over the football. And the 5 defensive backs swarming to the football.
Well, we talked about the strength of the Houston defense being the safeties. Hill is one of them. Watch the safeties move around. Watch them, looking up in the line there. You see Rogers 10, 19 is Malone, 45 Maxson, but the safeties are what's moving around. James and Hill. moving to the football, getting in there. That's Hill, number 4, coming in, slicing underneath him.
This defense not very big, but guys that will get to the football in a hurry. It is 2nd down and 12 as Alexander loses a couple. Zhao uses his strength to dodge one pass rusher, then threw it short, looking for Freddie Millens before he's dropped.
Boy, Zhao showed some strength on that play. I thought he was going to get dropped. Great pressure there by TJ Light, the outside defensive end, number 42. He's got him. And Zhao just rakes him off. Watch this. He's got him. Woom just throws him off, comes up. And again, you don't want to make a mistake here. When you're getting pushed back and you throw that ball, you have no zing on it. And a lot of times you throw it up for grabs. You don't want to do that.
Talk about momentum, Swift. If change, if Houston gets a stop here on 3rd and 12, that swing will be dramatic.
See if Houston doesn't go to that little slip screen where they found Shaun Alexander out in the flat. That was really effective last week.
Bowens in motion. Zhao steps up. Has Bowens at about the 24, but he's well short, about the 22. He's well short of the first down, which was at about the 27-yard line. And that'll bring up a 4th down, and Houston will get decent field position unless a disaster happens here.
Well, you talk about momentum swings, and that's exactly what that was. That long drive, the longest drive of the day for Houston by far, and it's given their defense some zip. And when the defense comes off the field, they're getting cheered and yelled at by the sideline players, and all of a sudden Houston has taken the zip out of Alabama.
Mike James on that stop. 7 here tackles today, and 12 against Rice.
Oh, here comes Houston. Oh, they jumped offside.
Unbelievable. Will Pettis jumped across the line of scrimmage, and that might have been the disaster we were talking about.
Well, let me tell you what's unbelievable about that, and that is that it was 4th down, and I think a little bit over 5. This is going to be quite a call right here. Houston was going to try to come with the block from the outside. Pettis, number 5, is the one who jumps in there and jumps off sides. Now, was it 4th down and +5 or 4th down and a little bit under 5? And you can see Pettis. It's my fault. It's my fault. I'll take responsibility.
I think they're going to miss this by about 6 inches.
Oh, boy, you have good eyes. It's going to be close.
We're just staring right down the line of scrimmage, and it's.
You're right. The line of scrimmage they had to make a little bit past the 28-yard line, about 27.5-yard line. Oh, excuse me.
Greg Bowser down there.
Excuse me.
Will be a first down.
Offsides by the receiving team, 5 yards from the previous spot. Yardage results in a 1st down.
Wow. And Greg Bowser is right. That's why I went, wow.
And look at him. Greg does not want to stand next to Kim Helton right now.
Oh, boy.
He said you don't even measure it?
Right. See, I think he's right. I think that was close enough for a look. Nonetheless, a big break for Alabama. Alexander gains about 6 right up the gut. Tripped up on the play by Kenny Hill with his 4th stop of the afternoon. The announcers for this game are selected and compensated by Jefferson Pilot Sports. This broadcast is a copyright presentation. Any use of this broadcast without the express permission of the Southeastern Conference and Jefferson Pilot Sports is prohibited. Kim Helton continues to fume on the sidelines.
Well, he's got good reason to. That was going to be 4th down. They were going to get Houston was going to get the ball probably outside their 40-yard line. Instead, they give it back, and look what happens. We got Alexander time.
He picks up a 1st down, getting close to the 40-yard line. 2 carries, 11 yards for Alexander.
Boy, you always see the results of those penalties. People say, well, it was only a 5-yard penalty.
Well, we talked about this 4-2-5 alignment and the value that secondary has, but the safeties in particular, the weak safety, free safety, and strong safety accounted for 41 tackles. Today, 17 tackles.
That's pretty strong. It's exactly what that defense is designed to do. The strength of that defense is in the safeties. You see Kenny Hill there, number 4. You've got James, 25, and the other one is the outside one, Micah Malone, number 19.
Zhao pressured, lofts it up, looking for Terry Jones. Just out of reach, but great pressure against Andrew Zhao. Not a lot of time to get rid of the football.
I'll tell you one thing that they may need to talk to Andrew Zhao about. He's throwing the ball a little bit off his back foot. In other words, he's not delivering it with that same zing that he has. He's got a tremendously strong arm. Not great stats in this football game today, but he's led his team well. But the last 3 or 4 plays, when he's rolling back and he's under pressure and he's falling back and throwing that football, he's relying a lot on his arm. And I know Mike DeBose can tell you real quick that a lot of times those defensive backs can cover and get back in there and intercept one.
The reverse option to Freddie Millens, trying to get it back inside, now outside.
Oh, got a clip.
Flag down. Jason McCadley will be whistled for a clip. Or Chris Samuels, excuse me. I thought it was 80, but it's 60. Samuels on Mike James got that clip right around the 38-yard line.
Well, it's called responsibility. Mike James, the strong safety, has that backside responsibility, and he made Chris Samuels clip him. What he did is he came outside and then cut back up underneath and made Samuels hit him in the back. I think Kim Helton, he's still upset about that play before.
He still wants him to go back and measure, right?
There's the hand in the back. Personal foul. Oh, wait a minute.
Wow. I know you didn't come up with it. After all said and done, 1st and 10 Alabama from the 42. Handoff for Alexander. That delay probably was good for him to catch his breath. He's across the 45. David Williams on the stop along with Jason Parker.
When you get the feeling now, this is just drive vintage Alabama football. Keep the ball. Don't give it back to Houston. Houston just had their big drive. They had their chance to get back in this football game. They made a critical mistake, and now Alabama's making you pay for it.
This has been a strange drive, to say the least, for Alabama. They had to punt the ball away, but an offsides call gave them the football back. 4 wide receivers in the game for the Tide. Millens in motion. Once again, pressure on Zhao. Nearly picked off by Micah Malone. Freddie Millens was the intended receiver, but Zhao was just being pressured by TJ Light once again. Light has not been blocked this entire drive.
Well, they're hoping that Light will come down on the play fake, but Light doesn't. He keeps that backside containment. There again, you see Zhao throwing off that back foot. Look how close that was to an interception. He doesn't have the zing on it. He's taking a little bit more chance when he throws off that back foot. He doesn't have that arm strength in it. Malone. So far, he hasn't gotten caught.
Malone, one of the fastest players on this team. TJ Light showing his speed at the linebacker spot. And stacked receivers at the top of the screen. Zhao pressured again from the same spot. This time it's not Light. He goes deep. He's got Collins wide open. Collins.
Oh, interception.
Interception by the Houston Cougars. Unbelievable. Mike James comes up with the INT, his first of the season. What a pickoff.
Well, I think that Collins actually caught the football, and I think as he was going down, the ball was raked out of his hands. Let's see if Collins, number 7, doesn't catch the football. Right down the middle of your screen. He's going to come from the right side in that stack. Good avoidance there of the pressure. Now step up and deliver it. Now watch and see if Collins doesn't catch the football. Hey, he's got it. Now look right there. James just rakes it out of his hand. Incredible. Right there, he's got the ball. Look at James. He just gets that hand in there and pulls that football out.
Big break for the Houston Cougars, but bad field position. They'll take it. Iglesias catches the ball, gets it to about the 11-yard line. But Mike James, 6 foot, 215-pound senior, scored on a fumble recovery last week, forced 3 fumbles. 2 of those led to scores, and he comes up with a huge interception here this afternoon.
Well, it's not all bad for Alabama, because if you're going to have an interception down on the 8-9 yard line, it's not a bad place to have it. It's almost like a punt. Now, if their defense can come out here and stop them, 3, get out, get the football back, they won't lose a whole lot, but that's a big if.
Cross the 13 is Sanford, stopped by Constant. You saw him eyeing McKinley, number 45.
Well, now here's the down. 3rd down. About oh, it's a pump, and he's open. Oh, he just overthrew it.
Kendall Williams was there. Spencer read it quite well and broke on the ball and made it difficult for Williams to come away with the football.
I want to tell you, Marcus Spencer may have saved the game on this play. This is wild. Look at this slot receiver right here. Come back. They hope they bite on that, and then look at the look at Spencer coming in there, number 41. Boy, he picks up a lot of yardages just to distract and break up the football.
Patterson to punt, gets it away.
Oh, that's a terrible punt. That's terrible.
Not his best effort, to say the least.
Wow.
And Alabama will take it at the 40-yard line. Well, Alabama leads it by 7. 4:56 to go in the third quarter. Back after a word from your local stations. Alabama leads by 7. Just under 5 minutes left to play. Our Bell South SEC football game of the week. Houston Cougars trying to stop Shaun Alexander. 1st and 10 at the 40. Alexander gets about 4. Andrew Zhao in the game for Alabama, running the show right now, but Tyler Watts has seen some action today. So far, this is what the two have done.
You see 39 snaps by Zhao. Watts really doesn't have a lot of snaps, but that keeps him in the football game. He's productive with the total yards, but this is Andrew Zhao's team to lead, and they need him right now. Alabama needs to take the sting out of Houston.
Millen's in motion. Roll out by Zhao. Across the middle. Pass complete to McCadley.
That was a nice throw back across his body that time. Zhao squared up those shoulders and find McCadley, the tall wide receiver. Again, it's tough for quarterbacks on the roll if they throw back against the grain. In other words, look at this. Square up your shoulders and find the football. McCadley's a big target in there.
First down for the Tide. They move the ball to the 30-yard line.
Well, if it was me, I think I'd go back to Alexander again. Clintock on that big block and watch Alexander run.
Shaun Alexander inside the 15. McClintock led the way, and
Absolutely.
he didn't have anybody to block. 16 yards.
Yeah, the big fullback leads up in there. Watch the big fullback. He's going to lead right there. And then Shaun Alexander's going to get the ball and blow right up the middle. Watch this. Follow number 30. Get that in your sight. Now you see the block right there. Look at the size of the hole right there. Good night. I think I could run through that one. Well, maybe not. That's a wonderful, wonderful offensive line opportunity.
Not much of a game there for Alexander. Flag is down on about the 14, 16-yard line.
You know what happened that time for Alexander? He got his leg wrapped up underneath him. And that's usually where you get a little bit of ginger.
He's still kneeling down over there on the 15-yard line.
Maybe he got his shoe pulled off. That looks like what he's doing is tying his shoe. But he got his legs wrapped up underneath him. Oh, he's up bouncing around.
Shaun has 150 yards today on the ground on 23 carries.
Foul was illegal procedure by the offense. 5 yards from the previous spot, still first down.
Well, and that's what Alabama had so many problems with last week, those procedure penalties. And Mike DuBose said they worked really hard on that this week to try to eliminate those little foolish mistakes. You have to concentrate when you're up on that front line. You have to concentrate on the snap count. You can't let the defensive calls try to draw you off sides.
There's Shaun today, averaging 6.5 yards a carry. I'd love to put another couple of yards on it. But in the end zone, Andrews out of Freddie Millens. Touchdown, Alabama. 19 yards on the strike from Zhao to Millens, who was wide open as Houston broke coverage.
Absolutely broken coverage. I think what happened is when Shaun Alexander came out of the backfield, I think the corner bid on him and just let Freddie Millens run right on by him. Alexander comes out to the top of your screen to the left. He comes out now. Look at this. Andrew Zhao saying, wait a minute. Look how wide open Freddie Millens is.
Flugner for the point after.
Oh, he missed it. Wow, that wasn't a good one. That wasn't pretty.
Flugner was 6 of 6 on PATs before that miss. It's 23-10 Alabama now, but Freddie Millen sneaks past the Houston secondary for the touchdown. 13-point advantage with 3:02 to play in the third quarter.
What happens on this play, and look at Zhao, he sees it right away. They run Shaun Alexander out strong side, and the corner comes up on him. The safety's got to get over there to Freddie Millens. No one even within 4 or 5 yards of Freddie Millens. He just dances into the end zone.
His first touchdown of the season.
And here you are, ref.
Well, let's take a look around the SEC. See what's going on. Presented by Morgan Keegan, Around the SEC. The only intra-conference game this weekend is Lou Holtz's Gamecocks heading down the road to Athens. And he'll have the Bulldogs' Quincy Carter waiting for him. The sophomore threw for 320 yards last week against Utah State. Here's some other games for you. UConn and Kentucky underway. Northern Illinois at Vandy. Idaho at Auburn. Arkansas State, Ole Miss. And a good one at the bottom of the screen. Memphis versus Mississippi State. Memphis nearly knocked off Ole Miss, losing 3-0 last week. Tennessee and Arkansas not playing today. Mike Green on the kickoff return. And across the 20. Here's what Andrew Zhao has done today. 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, though. You know, it's hard to give him that interception when Mike James stepped in there and ripped it away from Sam Collins. Some SEC scores for you.
Ooh.
UConn.
Ouch.
That's Skip Holtz's former team at UConn. He turned that program around up there, and they continue to roll.
Well, it's a couchless Kentucky, too.
Bonner goes for over 400 yards last week, but nonetheless, Kentucky loses.
Great coverage there. Nobody to throw to. McKinley just looking. If you look that long, these big defensive linemen, they're getting hungry. They want to get back there and get some sacks.
Hard to blame the offensive line there. McKinley had all day to throw it.
Yeah, Reggie Grimes, 98, comes around the top of your screen. He beats Kelvis White. Round the outside, comes in there, and you see him crush down in there. That's a big thrill, those sacks. And boy, that's when you get up and you turn around and you say to those defensive backs, thanks a lot. You cover them like that, I'm sure we'll get to them.
Kenny Smith had off-season knee surgery. Then he has the infection, spent some time in the hospital, but he's glad he's playing here today. Picks up the sack. Here is Sanford. He's taken down by guess who? The freshman, Salim Rashid.
I told you that I like Rashid. He's got a nose for the football. Whenever you have a play action fake, a lot of times young players that haven't seen that type of action will miss it. Rashid does not.
Let's check in with Greg Bowser. Greg.
Well, Dave, I tell you, Jerriett Johnson, number 96, young defensive lineman for Alabama, hurt his lower left leg about the second series of the third quarter. He's back out here, and they're going to give it a shot and see if he can go. Back to you guys.
Houston 2 of 8 on third downs this afternoon. McKinley all day to throw again, but he overthrows Iglesias, and he's hammered from behind just as he let it go.
And Alabama should get good field position again.
Kenny King, another freshman, with the pressure on McKinley right as he let go of it. And that'll bring up Jeff Patterson to punt it away to Freddie Millens, who stands back at about his own 38-yard line.
You get the feeling that Alabama rushes every time. They're not putting a return on, but Millens has got that speed. He can flat out bring it back.
Alabama nearly got it. Millens popped right at midfield. And that is where Alabama will set up shop. He was popped by David Williams, number 46, on a 30-yard punt. Next week, it's a double dip for you, beginning with Vanderbilt and Ole Miss. 12:30 Eastern, 11:30 Central, as we come to you from Oxford. And then immediately following on most of these Jefferson Pilot stations, it's Oklahoma State versus Mississippi State from Starkville on our Bell South SEC Game of the Week. Not every JP station will pick up that doubleheader, but hopefully the station in your area will cover it. Tyler Watts in at quarterback. Shaun Alexander is taken down for a loss by Micah Malone with his 6th stop today.
Well, Malone that time did a good job tackling Alexander. What he did is he didn't put his hands out. He reached in there and grabbed him. Tyler Watts getting a little bit of playing time now. Alabama wants to salt this game away. They need to drive right here. They need to keep the football away. They've got a 13-point lead. They've got just 45 seconds left in the third quarter. That's what they need to do. Just put a little drive together, put some first downs, get a field goal opportunity or a touchdown. I'd like to see Watts throw it. I've heard a lot about his throwing ability. I'd like to see him chuck it up there.
That's Bowens in motion, high snap. Watts catches it. There he goes deep, looking for Bowens. A diving catch. He's got it at the 20-yard line. What a catch by Tim Bowens. A gain of 33, and you got your wish, Dave.
What a throw. What a throw. Fake pump on the out and up. It's the old out and up pattern. What you do is watch the fake pump here, right in here. Fake pump now. Throw it up and lead him, and this is a perfectly thrown ball. Not bad coverage by Malone, 19, but just a perfect thrown football. Great concentration there. Stretch out there. Now watch the time. Look at Samuels in there. He's helping out. He's helping out on two guys. That big old line giving him time to look downfield.
Shaun Alexander takes it close to the 10-yard line. Mike James and Kenny Hill on the stop for the Houston Cougars. And Alabama desperately trying to stick another touchdown into the end zone as we approach the end of the third quarter. Alabama leads it by 13. Back after these messages from Pizza Hut. 2. Ball is on the 12. It's Alexander. Great block by Marvin Brown. First down, Alabama. Marvin Brown hasn't played a whole lot today, but he came in and made his presence felt with a good block on the outside.
That's exactly what you want to do if you're the lead blocker. Take out the force on the top of your screen. Watch this. Take out the force. You see Brown, number 6. Watch this. Boom. You see the defender go right to the ground, has to roll over. That's Malone, number 19. You don't take him down. That's what opens up the corner, gives the first down for Shaun Alexander.
Only the second play of the day for Brown, but he will stay in for his third opportunity. Alexander also in the backfield, number 37. In motion is Millens. It's first and goal from about the 9. Watts to throw. He's got Brown, overthrew him, and it was nearly picked off by Pettis. The junior cornerback out of Hinesville, Georgia.
And Brown saying, I was wide open. I mean, I was wide open. And Watts knows it. Watch Brown come out of the backfield here. He's going to come right down here. Bang. He's going to be wide open. Look at this. Right over top of his head. Look at that. Oh, he is. If he catches that, he's in for a score. Now, you want to just let the quarterback know you're there? Boom.
Wayne Rogers with a little stab at Watts.
Well, that's just a two-hand touch.
Shaun Alexander.
Oh, look at Alexander.
Breaks 3 or 4 tackles. Touchdown, Alexander and the Crimson Tide. That might have been one of his best runs today.
Well, he breaks 2 tackles, one by TJ Light, number 42, the defensive end, the other by the middle linebacker, number 45, Maxson. You just run through tackles. Watch this again. Misdirection, there's nobody in the hole. That's Light, 42. He breaks that one. There's Maxson. He breaks that one. Now, look right there. Just give it a little stiff arm. Get back to the outside. Accelerate. We talked about him being special. Buddy, he's special.
Another terrific run by Shaun Alexander. Flugner missed the last extra point attempt. This one is good. 27 carries, 167 yards, a pair of rushing touchdowns. This is why he's considered one of the best in the country. Alabama by 20.
That's right, 1 TD. Shaun Alexander's got 2 rushing TDs, so that's just through the third quarter.
3 overall, of course, 1 receiving touchdown. Iglesias catches it, dodges 1 tackler. He gets it out close to the 40-yard line. Tony Dixon had a chance to bring him down. Finally, Reggie Grimes does so.
And right now, if you're Alabama and you're in that huddle, you're saying, don't get beat deep. Don't allow anything to happen that will upset this large lead, this 20-point lead. Houston, they need some things to happen. They need some positive things to happen. They need to get a drive. They need to break a tackle. Need a big play.
That was Sean Toure on the sidelines. a little banged up. Special teams player for the most part. In the backup corner. McKinley hands it off to Sanford. Nowhere to go. Stopped at the 35. Constant. 5 tackles today from his middle linebacker spot.
A lot of players getting a chance to play. I saw Todd Whitmore, number 61, in the backfield. Look at this, off in the backfield right there. Causes the back to change his direction. They tackled behind the line of scrimmage. Good penetration by number 61. Mike DeBose played, what, 61 players last week?
Out of the 70 that he dressed. Now, he's well over that today.
Yes, he is.
Shotgun formation on 3rd and 6 for the Houston Cougars. 5 wide receivers in the game. McKinley throws it back across the field. Flag down. Could be late hit against Alabama.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what it's going to be.
But it's a first down regardless for the Houston Cougars. Tommy Baldwin takes it across the 45, close to the 47-yard line. But I think Kenny Smith, who whistled for that violation.
He said, well, you know, you gave our quarterback a 2-hand touch. I'll give your quarterback a little 2-hand touch. You can see Mike DeBose, the anguish on his face. He knows that what happens is that's tacked on to the tail end of the play. So instead of making that like a 20-yard gain, that's going to be about a 35.
The defense roughing the passer, 15 yards from the end of the run, first down.
Let's see if we see the tail end of this. Kenny Smith, 88. Now again, that's tacked on at the end of the play.
It was a 12-yard gain. Tack on the 15, and by my Florida State math, that's 27 yards.
That's the first one I heard you get right.
Mike Green now near the 30-yard line, a gain of about 6 or 7. Kenny Smith on the stop, trying to make up for the 15-yard personal foul moments ago.
Well, it's a big drive for Houston. They want to keep this spirit alive. You know, they've had some unbelievable schedules when they start the beginning of the year. They have played some really tough teams. And I think Kim Helt and his staff feel they've got a good chance to compete in the conference this year and have a good record.
Most people think Houston will probably finish 3rd in Conference USA with an outside chance of taking home top honors like they did in 1996.
A lot of blitz.
McKinley goes up top. Incomplete right near the goal line. Kelp Bailey on the coverage of Kendall Williams in the end zone.
Boy, and Alabama's bringing the horses now. Outside blitz, they're trying to get in the quarterback's face, trying to disrupt McKinley's timing. They're saying, hey, we think we can cover your 2 wideouts one-on-one, so we're going to bring the house.
Ellis Johnson making some defensive decisions. Like a Saturday afternoon of football.
You love it, don't you?
That I do, my friend. That I do. 3rd and 3 under pressure. Fumble. Cornelius Griffin picks it up down to the 41-yard line. Marcus Spencer with the pressure on McKinley will get credit for a sack, but it's Cornelius Griffin, the senior, that picks up the fumble and takes it to the Houston 41-yard line.
Well, we talked about him bringing the house and bringing pressure. Look at number 41 come blitzing in there, Spencer. Knocks it now, Griffin. Now he's going to get a little bit of grief, Cornelius, because you got tackled by a quarterback. But a good hit right there. Pull the football away. Watch Griffin pick that football up on the bounce. Pretty good.
Cornelius, 6'3", 290. They expect a lot of good things out of him this year on the Alabama front. Marvin Brown with his first carry picks up a couple of yards.
And now you have 2 schools of thought. It's late in this football game. You've got a 20-point lead. You've got Shaun Alexander, who's had a fantastic day. Do you keep on going to him, or do you bring in some younger guys and get them opportunities to run the football?
Well, Andrew Zhao is now in at quarterback. Here comes Arvin Richard. There's Shaun Alexander on the sideline.
I think that's exactly what you do with him. You look at his total yards, and I mean, you know, you want him to have a great day, and he has had that, but there's 9 more to play or 10 more to play.
167 yards rushing for Alexander. The throwback to Terry Jones. Great blocking. He's got room. He's inside the 20, down to the 10. 36-10.
Well, don't you love picking out players? This is a throwback screen right here. Watch number 70. Doesn't get a lot of time in this football game, but Jason McDonald gets out there. He gets a block right in here. Woo, just kind of swallows the safety. Touchdown. That's Kenny Hill he took down.
Flugner is good, but a flag is down on the point after. 1st and 10. Leaf pin the tailback. He gets the handoff. He's got room. 2 big plays. The offensive line certainly hasn't quit working for the Houston Cougars. They're just blowing Alabama. And here comes that first team defensive front now. That did not take very long for the Alabama coaching staff to say, give me the number 1s. Look at Mike DeBose. Oops. Back-to-back first down carries. First by Sanford, then by Penn.
Out of time. Oh, it goes behind him. Got to lead him in that situation.
Tyson Helton's pass intended for Damian Montgomery.
Well, you haven't talked about the love coach today, but there's the love coach.
And why is he called the love coach, Dave?
He was doing a promo on a radio show, and after he got done, the next player, person who was doing the interview, did not show up. So they said, hey, coach, how about sticking around another few minutes? And the fellow who was the next scheduled was going to be a love counselor, relationship advisor. Didn't show up. Coach started giving these quick answers. Well, I think you ought to leave him. I think you ought to marry him. I think you ought to do this. And the fans loved him, and today they call him the love coach in Houston. He's got a huge network, great following. I think it's during the morning drive, so it's a big-time program.
Every Friday morning for 45 minutes to an hour, the love coach gives advice. You suggested that I speak to him.
It won't help.
Flag down in the middle of the field, right at the 40-yard line. Penn with the reception from Helton. Kenny King on the stop for Alabama.
I think that's going to be holding. I see Cornelius Griffin in there saying, you held me, they saw you, and you're going to pay for it. See Griffin there, 97. He just turned around and said, we're going to take him back. Usually you look over to the sidelines and see what the coach wants to do.
Foul was holding by the offense. A 10-yard foul from the spot of the foul, followed by 3rd down.
Well, you know, you look for things that Alabama has done this week different than last week. First of all, they drove the football. They were able to control the football on the ground. Shaun Alexander had the same good day. Zhao in control. But I think the defense played a lot stronger than what they did last week. I think they made some good corrections. They hustled to the football. They were trying to eliminate those mental mistakes that they had last week. And the difference is that they capitalized when they got opportunities in this football game.
And they also got off to a good start, Dave. I mean, they drove the football 80 yards in their opening drive. Helton under pressure, slides up the middle, and is walloped at midfield. Cornelius Griffin, Kenny Smith.
Oh, you know that's got to be a real thrill for a nice young quarterback who doesn't get a whole lot of playing time to step up. And there's Cornelius Griffin, 6'3", 295, right in your face. The 9 and the 7 look so wide. Watch this, step up. And there he is. Hello. Oh, no, there he is.
Miguel Merritt getting a pop as well. Millens deep to receive the Houston punt. Calls for the fair catch at the 15. Holds on. That is where Alabama will take over. A 36-yard kick. .749 to play in the football game. It's a 27-point Alabama lead. Houston had cut it down to 6, and then this guy got involved.
Yes. You see his 97 stats, but look at his 98s. They're even more impressive. Shaun Alexander is everything that everybody thinks he is, and quite a humble person to talk with on the sideline. Just a lot of fun. He's just a great football player in all aspects.
Ahmad Galloway in at tailback, Tyler Watson at quarterback. But here's what Shaun Alexander has done today. Some of his highlights. That goes 25 yards for a touchdown.
Well, we talked about versatility. Rushing the football is his strong point. There's another touchdown.
That one went 17 yards.
This was the run of all runs, though. Breaks 2 tackles, gets to the outside, and scores that 3rd touchdown.
That was only about a 7-yard carry, but one of his most impressive. Ahmad Galloway with another carry. Ahmad, another freshman. Wayne Rogers on the stop for Houston. That's Wayne's 7th tackle today. Also has a sack.
I don't know if Shaun got his 30 touches today. May only be like 28 or 29.
Well, the coaches want to get him the ball 30 times. I mean, that's kind of their goal number. And last week they hit it right on the button, but they said they weren't counting. It just happened to come that way. They had 61 offensive plays. Shaun was involved in 30 of those. And today he's probably close to that as well. As Alabama puts 4 wide receivers on a 3rd and 4. Millen's in motion. Watch your quarterback. Bad throw from Watts.
Oh, a late flag thrown in there.
He just left Buchanan out to dry.
You don't want to hang it up. There's a holding call against Alabama. That's going to throw him deeper in the hole.
And
Houston, see if they decline.
Yeah, they'll decline that and get the football back.
Decline, it'll bring up 4th down.
Wayne Rogers with a nice pop.
Foul is holding by the offense, which is declined. 4th down.
Well, Mike DeBosa's got to rest a little easier this week because his team really has responded to the things he was trying to do. Again, they made some mental mistakes, but I think that the mental intensity on Alabama's part was a lot better than it was last week. Of course, Vanderbilt was quite a formidable opponent last week. They were strong. They were ready for Alabama.
Vanderbilt much improved and will pick up some wins in the Southeastern Conference this year. Nice snap. Kenny Hill lets it go, and it takes an Alabama bounce. And Hill is disgusted with himself as the ball stops dead on the 20. Flag down at the 29-yard line, but a 60-yard kick.
And the flag may negate all this.
We shall see.
Going to be holding. Ouch. That may give Alabama a 1st down. Let's see, it was 4th down, and it was about 4th down and about 5 yards to go, so that should. Now, did it happen after the kick?
That's exactly. If it happened after the kick, it'll be Houston ball, and they'll just move him back another 10 yards, which is what they're doing. Referee today, Doyle Jackson, has almost said Doyle Alexander. Remember him?
By the receiving team during the kick. The penalty is 10 yards from the end of the kick, followed by 1st down.
Doyle Jackson has got a lot of airtime today. Dave Rose kind of jealous. Back in a moment. Tough Houston defense. Hand off to Penn across the 15. Jeremy Walker with the stop. Well, now it's time to look at the BMW Ultimate Drive of the Game, brought to you by BMW, the ultimate driving machine. It was the opening drive of the football game. This culminated the 80-yard drive, a Shaun Alexander 25-yard touchdown reception. The drive took 5 minutes, 9 plays, and 80 yards, and it set the tone for this football game.
Absolutely. It showed that Alabama got a lot of life off of that. They came right back, scored. The next one went up 14-0. And from there, they haven't looked back.
Help under pressure. Throws wide. It's Marvin Brown, number 6, your fullback, in more motion. Bohannon's got all day across midfield to the 40, to the 30, down inside the 20 before he's knocked out of bounds by Kenny Hill.
Boy, what a cutback by Bohannon. What a tremendous cut. Just made a great decision on the ball. Once he got the football, watch, he's going to come back through here. Bang, now he gets it right there. You see the hole, and he just runs by everybody. Now he's at full speed. Good block downfield right there by the wideout. That was Stubbs that threw that block. He flew it on White. Right there, Stubbs. You see that excellent block right there on White. That's the coach's son, by the way.
Bohannon, backup tailback out of Oak Ridge, Tennessee, getting a chance to play today. Watts just dropped the football. It is. The flags are down. Offsides.
I thought the nose tackle jumped offside. But you know what happens in a game like this? You look at situations like this and you say, well, are they trying to run up the score? But it's awfully hard to tell that second and third team player, hey, don't play your heart out because this is your opportunity. And that's what's going on right now with Alabama. Their second team players are getting a lot of experience. They're going after it. There's offsides by the defense.
At Denny Stadium on the campus.
Well, it's 4 tough ones in the middle, though, isn't it? Florida, Tennessee, Arkansas.
Bohannon drops by Wayne Rogers, who's played a pretty nice game today.
They'll get the suspended players back, hopefully. That'll make a difference, give them a little bit more depth.
Bohannon with the carry. If you're a fan of either, the Tide or the Houston Cougars and didn't have a chance.
That's what he kept on saying. Didn't name him by name. He just said that 37 sure is special.
Bohannon takes the pitch from Watts inside the 5. That'll be an Alabama first down. Kenny Hill trips him up. Bohannon met at the line of scrimmage and pushed back to about the 6-yard line. Mike Nepper right in on the stop. On the field, have it related to us. Bohannon once again stopped at the line of scrimmage.
Well, this is pride right here for Houston. They just want
under 50 seconds to play in the football game. It's 3rd down and goal from the 7. The pitch to Bohannon, cuts it back, breaks a tackle, gets it in the end zone, but a flag is down at about the 3-yard line.
Yeah, that's going to be holding on the backside. That is going to be holding, most likely holding on the backside. And as I saw Jason McDonald walk back there, he said, "What, me?"
Not our truck. That's the good news. It's 3rd and goal. Ball is 13. There's Bohannon to the outside, inside the 10, inside the 5, but he's short of his objective, and that was the goal line.
6.2 yards per rush.
3 total touchdowns today. On 4th down, it's Bohannon, and he gets stuffed. Ioane with a stop for Houston, and that'll turn the football over with 12 seconds left to play in the football game. And to the outside, Joffrey Reynolds takes the football, and there should be 5 seconds left on the clock as he runs out of bounds. And Alabama will go to a 2-0 start here in 1999. Houston goes to 1-1. And actually the officials will call that the ball game. That will do it. And Mike DuBose beats Houston for the 2nd time. The first win coming in his opening game as the head coach of the Crimson Tide. And today Alabama wins it 37-10 over a much improved Houston team from a year ago when they were 3-8. Let's check in with Greg Bowser, who has Mike DuBose.
Thanks, Dave. Coach, finally put it together and blew it on.
Well, it was a good game for us. A good win. I thought the kids played well. I thought Kim and his staff did an excellent job. Had a great plan for us. A little worried there at the start of the 3rd quarter. We were lackadaisical defensively. Houston's offense had a lot to do with that, but made some big plays there in the 2nd half and got ahead and got to play a lot of kids. It was a good win for us.
Good win. You didn't start like you did against Vanderbilt. Came out and really got the ball moving and carried on to the 2nd half.
Well, it did. We didn't shoot ourselves in the foot early like we did up in Nashville. And again, Vandy had something to do with that also. But we played better. We're still making too many mistakes. We got to go back and continue to correct. We're a young football team. The more we play, the better we're going to get.
Shaun Alexander, another big game.
Well, he's a great football player. Just got to find ways to get the football to him. One thing we do have to do, though, we have to be able to spread the field and throw the football a little bit more effectively than we did. I thought Houston got into press man, sort of took the wide receivers away from us. We got to win at the line of scrimmage.
Good luck to you, Coach, next week.
Our guys wanted to play hard the 2nd half, really just to kind of push things open, and they did a good job.
Yeah, today you came out, caught the ball again well, and just did a number of different things.
God's blessed me with a lot of things, so it's fun getting to go out there and show people how well I've been blessed and how good God is.
you've got to be excited. I know a lot of defenses are stacked to stop you, but yet the last 2 games you're still able to get your yardage in.
Like I said, you know, I've been blessed in so many ways, but our guys just take pride in getting me in the end zone and let me have a lot of yards, so it's pretty fun.
Most great runners like to have a good back in front of them. What about McClintock? Threw a great block on a touchdown run.
He's the best.